This is the most elegant assassin I have ever seen. Before every kill, he would chew a piece of gum, then fix his handsome hairstyle. Finally he would pick up his weapon, and elegantly tell his prey that the hunt was about to begin.
So, Mr. Tax, shall we?
Right after that, he began searching for traces of his prey. In the end he found Dodge behind the very last door. Seeing that his prey was so cowardly, he felt extremely disappointed. He directly called the organizers, complaining that the game was far too easy. As a hunter, he could not feel even the slightest bit of excitement at all. He even demanded a full refund, and just as Tom was complaining, seeing Dodge escape, Tom instantly became interested. He immediately got up and chased after him. The panicked Dodge quickly rushed out of the mall. In this hunting game, the only thing he could do was keep running. But just as he turned around to look back, a speeding bicycle knocked him to the ground. By the time he got back up, he discovered in despair that Tom had already appeared in front of him. Dodge tremblingly stepped backward, trying to continue escaping, only to discover that the door behind him had already been locked shut. Just as Tom slowly approached with a dagger in hand, a sudden voice from behind interrupted the pleasure of his hunt. He turned his head to look, and after realizing it was the police, he immediately put away the dagger. He repeatedly explained that they were only fooling around, but the police officer above noticed the blood on Dodge's head. At that moment Tom turned his head, and signaled Dodge with his eyes. Because of the restrictions of the game rules, Dodge could only cooperate and say that he was fine. Then while the police were present, he hurriedly walked out of the dead-end alley. At this point the game had already lasted for 5 hours, and Dodge had also received $1 million in prize money. It turned out that Dodge had joined an escape game. Every hour he survived, he would receive $50,000 in prize money, and his real-time location would be reported to the hunters for 15 seconds. And with every passing hour, the prize money would double. If Dodge was still alive by sunrise, then he could walk away safely with $20 million. After temporarily escaping danger, Dodge casually rode a bicycle from the roadside and hurried toward the subway station. He understood that the more crowded the place was, the less likely the hunters would dare to make a move. But the moment he arrived on the platform, he discovered Tom waiting for him ahead. Seeing this, Dodge hurriedly pushed through the crowd and rushed toward the subway train. Dodge once again narrowly escaped death. After leaving the subway station, Dodge casually stole a taxi. He decided to go home and check on his pregnant wife. At this moment his wife was frantically searching for news about Dodge at home, because Dodge had already been missing for an entire day, and an unexplained $10 million had suddenly appeared in their account. This made her extremely worried about Dodge's safety. Just as Dodge was about to step inside the house, he suddenly noticed a motorcycle speeding straight toward him. He leaped aside and dodged the deadly attack, and the noise outside also caught his wife's attention. However, Dodge had no time to comfort his wife at all. He drove the taxi and accelerated like crazy, because he knew the hunter's target was himself. As long as he stayed away from his wife, she would be safe. But not long after driving away, the hunter threw a flying knife and punctured the car tire, then jumped into the car after the speed slowed down, and wrapped a steel wire around Dodge's neck. Dodge simply slammed the gas pedal to the floor, and crashed into the stone barrier beside the road. Luckily Dodge was wearing a seatbelt, and was not seriously injured. After getting out of the car, he realized this was another hunter. Fed up with hiding and running, Dodge grabbed a stone block, and sent the hunter to meet God on the spot. From that moment on, he decided to stop hiding and running. Instead he would confront the remaining hunters head-on. He arrived at his father's abandoned farm. He began setting up various traps. Then he turned on the long-sealed electrical box switch. The conspicuous sign on the rooftop quickly caught the hunter's attention. Then the remaining 3 hunters arrived at the factory at the same time to gather. Unexpectedly, the female killer ignored the 2 men's greetings. She immediately rushed into the factory. Another killer refused to be outdone and quickly chased after her. Only Tom calmly adjusted his outfit. Then he slowly followed after them. After entering the factory, Tom quickly discovered the place was filled with flammable materials. Before he could even react, Dodge pulled the circuit breaker from the shadows. The flammable materials were immediately ignited and rapidly spread. After the explosion, only Tom the assassin survived. Dodge was also unfortunately injured in the leg by the explosion. At this moment Dodge had no way to escape, and Tom had already caught up behind him, and took out a dagger from his sleeve. He began step by step closing in on Dodge. Just as Dodge had nowhere left to retreat, he directly jumped down and grabbed the beam. Seeing this, Tom crouched down, aiming his dagger at his hand. Just as he raised his hand to finish Dodge off, a ray of sunlight shone onto his dagger, and this meant the hunting game had ended. Tom elegantly pulled Dodge up.
Sunlight. That's over. Good show, Mr. Tynes. Very good show.
Tom maintained his damn elegant until the very end. After greeting Dodge's arriving wife, he then left gracefully. Then Dodge received a call from the organizers, stating that the $24.5 million prize money had been fully transferred. From now on, Dodge could fully enjoy a wealthy life. The most terrifying part of this game was never the hunter's knives, but that someone packaged killing as entertainment, and then used money to make ordinary people willingly walk into the hunting ground. Dodge thought he was trading his life for the future, but when countless spectators began cheering for the chase, he finally understood the truly insane ones were never the hunters, but the world that treated bloodshed as entertainment.